Your final step, step 6 for your peacock drawing. So we're going to go off of step 5 and talk a little bit more about these 3 colors that we use for our smaller feathers. So we talked about analogous colors. Analogous colors are 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So we're talking particularly about these 3 colors: yellow, yellow-green, and green. And we're going to go off of those. I'm going to have you choose one of those colors. It could be, for my virtual learners, you could use crayons. I'd like you to use crayons. If you have, a yellow-green, use it. If you don't, then you'll just choose yellow or green. What we're doing is you have a choice, my virtual learners. You could color in your background using one of the shades, just coloring in the rest of the background. Or if you like, you can add some texture to your background by taking this piece of paper and holding up against, some area that has texture. So a bumpy wall or a brick wall, perhaps a tree, some area that has a little texture. Now the challenge is that you're going to have to carefully hold your paper, and you're going to have to carefully go around, your bird body and the other feathers that you designed. So taking this paper, laying it on something that's a rougher surface, and doing a crayon rubbing, okay, with that one color that you chose. For my in-person learners, you're going to do somewhat of the same thing, except I have this bumpy, textury paper. Kind of makes a funny noise when I rub it. And you're going to take this and you're going to put it underneath your peacock drawing. You'll choose one, and then using either crayons or colored sticks, these small colored sticks, you can pick one of the set of colors. So if you have a darker yellow or green or a lime green, a yellow green, you can choose one. And I want you to color all that empty white space, so carefully going around your feathers and your bird body. So now that I'm looking at mine, I'm going to decide what color I like to use. And I think I'm going, I could go off of my realistic picture. It would be, kind of like a darker green. Maybe I'll go with that, but your choice. So with the texture, this texture kind of creates a cool, interesting texture. So going around and filling in that rest of that white space. Now if you're a virtual learner and you don't have these colored sticks at home, that's fine. You can use, your crayon and color it normally, doing the same sort of thing. Okay. Same thing. But again, you don't have to find a texture wall if you don't want to. If you'd rather just color it in, that's fine too. So being super careful around these certain areas. Be careful around the edges. So virtual learners, just kind of imagining if I'm using a wall, it's going to be a little trickier holding up something. So if you want to do it, go for it, but just take your time and be super careful with your paper. And you know what? I'm going to change my mind. So I'm hoping you watch this whole video, kind of throw you a little curveball. If you want to use more than one color, so if you only have green and yellow, you can use green and yellow. It might make your peacock a little more interesting. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually use all 3 just to kind of show a little shading. This one doesn't show up as much. I'm going to go back into with my yellow, and that'll show a little difference. So So you can use all three of those colors to do your background, for virtual and in person. Your choice. Overlapping them make it a little interesting, or if you want to do different areas, different colors, that's fine too. All right. And you know, with these feathers and these lines too, it might be interesting to take a crayon and kind of emphasize these funny feathers. Crayon that matches the feathers. And voila, your peacock drawing is finished. Mixed media. We used crayons, we used markers, we used pens, pencils, different materials to make this artwork. All right, nice job, everybody.